Good morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Josh. And we're going to kick this episode off a little bit different. I think we'll do true confessions of a Stahls TV Morning Show host. Would you like to share anything with our viewers today?
I would. I'm wearing the same shirt that I've worn an episode for.
Excellent.
So I finally re-wore a shirt on the Stahls TV Morning Show 43 episodes later.
Yeah, you almost made it a full year of episodes, but she's done it. And for those of you that think she is taller, it's because she sits on a book.
I have two confessions.
All right, two confessions.
Anything you want to confess to the audience?
Yes, Courtney's mom did share the morning show on Facebook, and it has went viral with all of her relatives.
That's true, too. That's my confession.
Oh,
it's
I'm
still
sorry.
not one of yours.
I don't understand the process yet, but welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. As you can see, we like to have fun, and last week we had a lot of fun. We had our Stahls TV exclusive launch event, and it was so much fun and such a great response from viewers that we're going to do it again on July 18th with a whole new style to it based off what we've learned. But talk to our viewers a little bit about the launch event that happened last week.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. We launched the Easy Weeding Table, which is really big innovation for people that are doing heat transfer vinyl or cutting their own materials with a vinyl cutter. It basically makes it easier for them to weed. So that was a pretty big deal. We had a lot of people really excited about that, as were we. Yeah. We had a donut eating contest with our catgut glaze product, so that was pretty fun. Yeah. We like to have fun with these events, and we appreciate everybody who came on and stuck around for the duration of the event. It was 4 hours long. You were able to come and go as you pleased, but we showed a lot of really cool new products: Stretch Litho, Cad Prince Glitter Flake, just a bunch of new things that we're offering. Catgut Glaze, which is there with the donut eating contest, and then also Cad Cut Adhesive with the foil, which is my favorite, which hasn't won yet on the Stahls TV Morning Show here for our viewer's choice.
She knows what's coming later. We're going to have a viewer's choice, and she's playing up for your votes already, so don't buy that quite yet. Just stick with us. But we like to share news at the top of the morning show, and we're pretty excited. Stahls is behind the scenes at the NFL draft for the last several years, and it's draft week this Thursday. The NFL draft kicks off, and we had basically the local news in Detroit come into our headquarters and do a report showing you behind the scenes of the draft. We'd like to share that 3.5-minute video with you now.
Next week's NFL Draft, one local company will be playing a very cool behind-the-scenes role in it, making certain when the drafted player hits the stage in Chicago, they have a monogram jersey with their name right there on the team jersey, right on the spot to show the media and, of course, all of their awaiting fans. Business editor Rob Maloney is at Stahls tonight to show us how this magic is created with, Rod, very little margin for error here.
They get 2 minutes, Devin, sort of like us. You get 2 minutes to explain the universe, right? They're called Group Stahl. They've been making logos and jerseys here in Michigan for 75 years. They're in Sterling Heights. And they're going to do for us now exactly what they do for the NFL. In 2 minutes' time, get a monogram jersey. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go. You'll recall in 2011, the Lions drafted the now long-departed defensive tackle Nick Fairley, and his jersey simply read the number 1. The NFL wondered, what if we could put the name on that jersey? So, in 2012, Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck became the first-round NFL draft pick to have his name affixed right to the jersey as soon as they announced his name. The guy who made that lightning-quick monogramming magic happen is Brent Kisha of Stahls in Sterling Heights.
It's a lot of fun because everybody's always interested in how do you do it, right? What's the magic sauce of it?
Back then, they put 2 special heated presses inside a makeshift Radio City Music Hall workspace, and the NFL viewed it as an experiment, open to the possibility it might not even work.
We had a couple pop-up tables and rolling racks with the garments on it, and then Andrew Luck was picked, and we decorated, and it went so smoothly, the NFL gave us the thumbs up.
It's become a huge hit, so much so this year the setup is right next to Commissioner Roger Goodell's office. And yes, in case you wondered, they print up 32 versions of each player's name, one for every team, because they have to be prepared for that last-second surprise.
Sometimes it gets hairy if there's a quick trade, right? Like a trade-up or a quick trade, and they make a quick pick. So then you got to make sometimes maybe 4 jerseys in 2 minutes.
And in fact, here we go. Here is our jersey, and they've got it printed. And this is not just like plastic. What is it called? Twill. It is a twill. So it's actual felt that they put on there, or a material that'll hold up. Now, they've been doing this for a very long time. They work with all 4 of the major sports leagues, and they have been real innovators in a very cool operating space. And guess what? They can make money doing this. You wouldn't really think that that's possible. But you can actually go to the draft and get your own custom-made jersey. Guess how many they sold last year? 200,000. They figure they can do more than that this year, and they're headed off to Chicago to do just that. Back to you.
200,000. That's extraordinary. Now, Rod, they got to be ready for anything, though, I suppose, because anything can happen on draft day.
Yes, here's what happens. They have a name for everybody, and they lay them out. In fact, they have a folder for every team. So every team has their group of players, and they lay it out on a table. And these are the possibilities, and they have them sitting right there. So as soon as they know the name, boom, goes on the press, goes on the jersey, and it's up with Roger Goodell in enough time to make it happen. They invented this process. They weren't sure it would work, but boy, it has paid off beautifully. Really, so it's Group Stahl here in Sterling Heights. Congratulations to a great local business.
It is a great gig to have. You've got an AFC Central theme you're working there with the Ravens and the Steelers going today.
Well, it's what they gave me, Devin.
I understand. That's cool. All right, cool. What a great gig. Isn't that
great
fun?
gig
Really
right
neat.
there in Sterling Heights. All right.
So there it goes. All the mystery is taken away. That's how the names are put on the jerseys. And I have a feeling that our viewers of the morning show already had an idea of the process. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool to see heat printing as a technology and the Hottronics Fusion more specifically take center stage at such a big event. It really is a feather in the hat for heat printing and the quality and sort of how far it's come over the last 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool to see how they're printing at the event as well. And I think that's something that all of our viewers could take and implement in their business, just being able to print on site and get some sales from that as well as they're printing on draft days.
Okay, good. And so we want to transition from a NFL jersey to a different type of jersey here on the Stahls TV Morning Show. Today is our special edition. It's our guide to oversized jerseys. So it's a 101, and we're trying to make it as comprehensive as possible within the next 20 minutes as well to talk about these oversized jerseys. So can you talk a little bit about what an oversized jersey is?
Yeah, so the oversized shirts or the oversized jerseys are basically a large shirt where the print goes shoulder to shoulder. And so they're kind of a really loose, comfortable fit garment that got really popular about 2 years ago, and it's just stayed as kind of a staple in the apparel industry, and it's something that a lot of decorators are presenting to their customers every day as a basic item, just kind of like a t-shirt. Except for you can make a lot more money off them.
Yeah, that's the big difference. You can make a lot of profit. And so we're going to go through all the different styles of oversized shirts that we know of that are out on the market, explain the differences, what's trending. But before we do that, just to introduce you to the style, we have a cool way to do it with something called Project Press It. So for those of you that weren't at our launch event, we rolled out a new program that comes out every Thursday on the Stahls TV blog. We call it Project Press It, where we try to inspire you with design ideas and creativity and making apparel. And so it just so happens that our second edition of Project Press It, that you actually did the garment, was on one of these oversized jerseys. So we want to share that video with you now to introduce you to the style and introduce you to this new series.
that was a pretty cool look for us to create, and I think it shows some options for printing the front as well as the back of the shirt with some sublimated glitter flake. And we have a ton of videos on Stahls TV that show decorators specifically how to do that on a variety of garments. And this week on Wednesday, we're actually going to give a full 45-minute class on different sales opportunities, 7 opportunities actually, to print with sublimated glitter flake. So we're going to look at prints like that on oversized shirts, on t-shirts, hair bows, applique. So it's going to be a pretty fun class, and that gives you some ideas on that as well.
Yeah, so certainly tune into Project Press It in upcoming weeks, and always check the live event schedule on Stahls TV. So let's get to the topic at hand in these oversized shirts. We saw a two-tone one. We'll get into that in a second, but let's start with the basics of these oversized shirts. Just to kick things off, as Courtney mentioned, this is tremendous profit potential. There's a lot of different markets that are interested in these styles of shirts. Some of those are schools, dance schools, Greek apparel, sororities are definitely a market for it. What other sorts of markets are you seeing for
We're
this?
starting to see some even with restaurants or the promotional product market. So I know summer's coming, so we're going to see a lot of people at resorts. That's one big market. We're also seeing it just with sports bars and different restaurants for different game day looks.
Yeah, so there's a ton of opportunities. So this is a style that you can just integrate with your presentation to your customers, and it's something new to talk about. Something new is always great because it gives you a way to go back in the door to that customer, show them something, and perhaps strike up a sales conversation. If things are going stale and they only just come to you when they want that reorder of t-shirts or polo shirts, try showing this style. So let's start with the blank apparel providers. Talk to us about this particular one.
So this one is the pom-pom jersey from Boxer Crafts. This was kind of one of their basics that they started with. They sell it in a variety of colors. It comes in a 6.6 ounce cotton, so it's pretty lightweight when you're looking for just a standard basic oversized shirt that still has a thin, lightweight, comfortable feel to it. We print it on the back with catgut glitter flakes. It's a pretty good option from Boxer Craft.
Yeah, so the one thing that we'll see across these garments is the sort of center seam and the oversized cut. Those are staples out there in the garment with this type of garment in the industry. Boxer Craft's nice because it has this sort of banding on the arm sleeve. Sometimes that's a contrasting color. But it's a lightweight shirt, and I know a lot of people that really like the look and feel of this particular style out there. So that's from Boxer Craft. The next style that we have is from Pennant Sportswear, and this one's nice as well, just a little different from the Boxer Craft. So talk to us about the differences.
Yeah, so the main difference between this one and the Boxer Craft, it is a little bit heavier cotton, but it also has some really cool print areas on the sleeves, which is something that we lose with the Boxer Craft garment. So gives you some different opportunities to print more locations and being able to add more personalization to the garment.
Yeah, and so I think they call it the personalization patch or area, so it's a great place to add monogramming or initials or a player's number, just that little personalization element to it. And of course you get the same center cut seam, the same oversized print areas, and as Courtney mentioned, we're talking a heavier weight as well. But both of these styles are extremely popular, extremely nice, and they're available in adult and youth sizes. And the last sort of basic staple that we want to show is?
This is the one from J America. So this is the game day jersey. So again, it comes in a variety of colors, even has some really unique options for adding some ombre effects and some patterns into the blank. So that's a really cool thing that they offer. Again, it's a thin, lightweight material, so it's about 6.5 ounces, very similar to what we were seeing with Boxer Craft. A bunch of colors, it's pretty good, lightweight, nice oversized shirt.
Yeah, and the difference between this one, you see the sleeves are pretty much wide open. There's no personalization area or seam structure to it. There's none of the banding across the sleeves. So it does leave you options to personalize up the sleeve, or, you know, I think from a price perspective, this one is the least expensive because it doesn't have some of those details. It's a fairly basic, lightweight blank. But all three are great styles. So we have J America. Where can they buy that, by the way?
Anybody who supplies them. So we buy from S&S Activewear. They're one of the largest suppliers of them, but anybody who really distributes for J America.
And then Pennant Sportswear and Boxer Craft sell direct.
Correct.
So you can visit any of those websites to pick up the staple blanks. I'd recommend trying them all and picking the one that makes the most sense for your customers. So let's move on to sort of, those are your fundamentals, those are your basics. From a price point perspective, we're ranging anywhere from $13 and change to about $17 for the blank,
right? Yep.
Depending on quantity and style. So ultimately, when we get into that and we start customizing with a left chest application and a back placement, how much is this costing us to decorate in total?
It depends on if you're ordering transfers or cutting it yourself, but let's talk a little bit about cutting it yourself. So that has catgut glitter flake on it. I'd probably be looking, if I'm cutting this At the size of the graphics, I guess we should talk a little bit about, but
Yep.
they're traditionally between 22 and 24 inches in length, and so that gives you an example of the large size. So when you're cutting this yourself on your vinyl cutter, you want to take consideration for that large piece plus the 20-inch wide roll of material. So I accosted it about $5 in cost for your material.
Yeah.
Then looking at about some labor, some overhead, your blank, let's say you got $20 in that with your blank cost, so about $25 total in cost to print something like that.
Okay, and so seems like an expensive blank to decorate expensive decorated goods, anywhere between $20 and $25 all in decoration, depending on your style. But the selling price is the real story on this one. These garments are going upwards of $60. I've seen them as low as $40. So even on the low end at a $40 price point, we're making $15 in profit per garment and up, which is a huge difference than what you're probably making on a standard t-shirt. So always preach that message, profit per piece, and this offers tremendous profit per piece.
Absolutely.
And now before I leave the point, you mentioned using a 20-inch wide roll. That's really so we can nest multiple images across and leverage the full utilization of the material, because otherwise you're wasting a lot.
Right.
And so the idea of, instead of selling these one at a time, sell them in even quantities. That way you make sure you're utilizing the width of the material that you're cutting and personalizing. Now let's move to the next sort of upgraded styling. We have some sort of two-tone effects. So this is the one that we saw in the video, similar to it at least, from Boxercraft. And so you can see the contrast bands on the sleeve that match the bottom sort of color block theme of the piece. This is available in quite a few different colorways as well.
It is, yeah, a few different color block options, and again, you're looking about $17, so the pricing is still similar to what we saw with these blanks.
Okay, and then this one is from Pennant Sportswear, correct?
It is, yeah, so this is their surfboard blank, so it offers a contrasting back panel to the pocket on the front, and so offers some more options for adding personalization and just making a unique garment.
Yeah, and so this is great. It sort of leads you right into your color selection. For customizing it naturally, you'd want to use a pink material on the back. I mean, you can add a third color in, but it sort of leads you down the path of your personalization color. So it's great when you order these in to have your color swatches handy to make sure you're matching up appropriately. Sometimes it's tough to get that exact match on a flat film, so we see decorators going to special effects like glitters and metallics where you have a little bit more leeway on these. And then Pennant, this is one of their styles, but they have quite a few different color block styles that they offer. Even the one I believe that we're going to print for you here momentarily has sort of a black basic, and then there's different contrasting colors that are popular sports and school colors that you'd see out there in the market. All right, what's next?
Next is another color block, kind of a pattern option. This is one of my favorites. I got almost excited when I saw it. But it adds a leopard print, which is kind of a cool way for you to start offering some different print options to your customers and really showing them some patterns. There's a camo, there's some other colors in the leopard, a black, a navy. So.
And this is a Boxercraft blank as well.
Correct, yeah.
So all of these are sort of renditions of the pom-pom jersey that you're seeing with the sort of color blocking from Boxercraft. Are they the only ones now with patterns?
Yes, that I'm aware of, yeah.
Yeah, I know J America, we don't have the blank here, but they do a tie-dye option as well in that style that we saw, but from an actual printed pattern, I think Boxercraft's the only one that I know that's out in the market. And the only one I know with this particular style out in the market is J America, and this is one of our favorites. It's kind of tough to see. I'm not sure if you can bring in on a zoom there, Joe. Talk to us about this piece.
This is actually a glitter t-shirt version of the oversized shirt, and so it was really popular in a t-shirt version, so they brought that same metallic print. So it actually has the silver metallic sewn throughout the garment, and so when you start pairing it with a foil or a glitter material like Cat Glitter Flake, it really starts to make it kind of pop for cheer or dance or any kind of blingy market.
Yeah, and then when you see this, you may think that this would be itchy, but it's very smooth part of the fabric, so you don't really have to worry about when somebody's wearing this that there being a metallic thread that's itchy at all. It's just a way to upgrade the blank and, you know, really command more profit and show something different. So the actual construction on this is 95% cotton, 5% lurex, so we can treat it just like a standard cotton poly blend from a decoration perspective. Those cover a lot of the basic styles and different options, and then you start to go into some of the lighter weight fabrics that we'll see trending here for spring and summer. This is a slub cotton garment mixed with polyester.
It is. So this is the varsity slub from Boxercraft. Again, you're getting that same striping that we see on all of their oversized shirts, but it's a really thin, lightweight, almost kind of like a tri-blend in the way it feels and the fit that a wearer gets when wearing it. So it's more lightweight for spring and even for summer.
Yeah, it's a V-neck style. You get that same sort of trademark piping down the sleeves that we're seeing trending out there in retail. This one's soft, lightweight, just feels really nice, and you get that sort of heathered look to it. Naturally, with the slub cotton, you have this sort of uneven fiber, so you feel a texture to the surface, which is something that we see trending out there in general.
Right.
Okay. Next, there's a lot of these styles. Obviously, they're popular because these blank apparel manufacturers just keep coming up with new styles, which speaks to the popularity. I really love this one.
Yeah, this is actually a new short sleeve version, so I think this really speaks to the evolution of what we've seen with oversized shirts. We saw the basics, and then we saw people add patterns and prints, and now we're starting to see them in short sleeve versions. Again, seeing the same color block, but this gives you a really perfect option for spring and summer. So anybody who bought oversized shirts in the fall and maybe these heavyweight styles, I'd go back and offer them these same prints for a lightweight or a soft one for their spring and summer.
Yeah, and this is another Boxercraft piece. It has the sleeves that are rolled up, some of the details on it, and the contrasting color. Depending on which particular color you buy from Boxercraft, you'll want to make sure you read the description. This has an enzyme stone wash sort of top, so you get that soft texture to it. A few of the colors come in this soft, lightweight style that almost looks like a burnout or a heather garment. And some of the colorways, like your basics, like black, for instance, with white, is 100% cotton, so it's a little bit heavier, but still the short sleeve style. The reports from Shelley over at Boxercraft, who's their CEO, is that these have been phenomenal as far as the response and the sales growth. So make sure they have them in stock, as with anything.
Yeah.
Stock and inventory can be a challenge. So if you want to offer this style, you may want to pick some colors and buy up. And cost is similar. This piece is similar from a cost perspective to these, so you don't want to devalue the price just because it's a short sleeve.
Right, yeah, we're looking, I think, about $15 and some change for that short sleeve one.
Okay, and then there's an honorable mention here from Pennant Sportswear and their short sleeve version. Not the same sort of wide cut, but we sort of get a seamless cut on the back. There's no seams here across the shoulder blades for decoration, so it's a nice print surface, and we get this sort of contrasting color throughout. This can be sold as an oversized shirt as well. It fits oversized on the wearer.
Right, absolutely.
All right, so Joe, are any questions coming in before we go to the actual decoration of these pieces?
Yes, we do have a question. They'd like to know what's the maximum size print for the back of the shirt, and does that hold also for the short sleeve and the long sleeve shirts?
So the maximum size print, I want to say, is 26 inches. We actually recommend a 23-inch print area. That's pretty standard across all the adult sizes, and that would remain true for the long sleeve or the short sleeve styles. And then off the top of my head, I'm losing it. The youth sizes, do you remember the max width?
I want to say 19 inches.
Okay. All of those are sized if you use CADWorks Live, which is a designer that we offer at cadworkslive.com for free. You can actually open up the templates under the oversized shirts, the shoulder-to-shoulder designs, and it'll size it. It'll give you those dimensions automatically, but I want to say 18 or 19 inches for the youth.
Yep.
And we can confirm that as well over on the Stahls TV forum.
Perfect.
All right. Any other questions, Joe, before we decorate one?
The only other question is they're curious as to what the price is on that last shirt that you showed, the black one.
The pennant?
That one I don't have. I'll have to double check and put that on the forum as well.
Okay. Okay, I'm sure it's less than the $15 price point as well.
Right.
So just another option. I've even seen where customers are now using just standard long sleeve t-shirts and just having the look of the arch text and the oversized print on the back without the actual expense of a full oversized shirt. So just another idea, but a lot of the popularity is because of the weight and the drape and the feel, the styling of this. So let's talk about decoration. Do you want to sort of go through this, Courtney?
Yeah. So heat printing specifically makes a good option for printing these because it allows you to personalize the item in ways that weren't possible in the past, because to print these traditionally they were printed with a oversized screen print, and so that offered some options for quantity but not able to do personalization. And so to heat press this, I'm just going to load the shirt on by threading it onto my heat press platen. Switch my angle over here so it's a little easier for my right-handed. And then I'm going to preheat both sides before the application. Now for the print and the preheat, I just pull the far side of the corner over to the platen, preheat it for a few seconds, and then I can do the same step to the second side. Again, pulling it all the way to the shoulder, preheat to get some of that moisture and wrinkles out. And then the trick is going to be to line up my transfer with the back of my shirt. And so I'm just going to center my shirt on the platen. I tend to use the tag and put that on the center of my heat press platen to get to my center point. And then I want to take my heat transfer and also find its center. Depending on your material, you'll probably want to fold it the carrier side to carrier side. I'm using catgut flock, which doesn't have an incredibly sticky backing, to line up my transfer. Now, if you're using a material that doesn't have a sticky backing, you're probably going to want to look for something like a heat transfer tape when you slide. That way it'll hold it down into place. I'm going to go ahead and just slide this since I don't have it handy. And then I'm going to press down the first side of my transfer. And so heat applying this for the recommended application, which is a full 10 seconds.
Okay, and then just one little thing you'll want to watch out for as you're sort of sliding these. When you have the sort of raised seams and neck labels up, this is 100% cotton, so it's probably not going to impact it. But once you get into the cotton poly blends and you start to have that on the surface, you'll want to pay special attention to make sure that's hanging off the edge so you don't leave any markings on those seams.
All right, so we'll press this for the full 10 seconds on one side. Ooh.
On one what?
One side.
Put a little oomph in it.
It was a rough weekend. All right, so I'll slide this over to the other side. This is going to be a completely cold peel, so it'll have to cool down before I press the other side. Now, you will notice that the center part of the design is going to be heat applied twice, which is fine. It won't cause any durability issues with catgut flock or any of the other catgut materials. All right, so we'll give that a few seconds to cool down before we peel it back there.
And so puff is a pretty traditional decorating method for these, but flock is a nice alternative to the puff decoration that we see. When you're working with heat applied graphics, there's not really a CAD cut or a vinyl cut puff material that you can use, especially given the fact that some areas of the print are getting pressed twice. So you want to make sure that that would cause the puff to puff unevenly, and that's why you see heat applied decorators using glitters and flocks and basic films.
All right, so I think we've cooled down here, so I'm going to start to peel back the carrier from the catgut flock. And then this gives us our full personalization across the entire back of the design there. So switch back over to the main camera.
Where's your, you got it.
Yeah. And that kind of gives us the full oversized print. And again, just taking the same color that we saw with this garment and using black to kind of create that color blocking effect that really matches into the garment.
That's nice.
Nice soft feel. Pretty nice.
All right, I like that.
All right.
Okay, so from a decoration perspective, there's a lot of options. Obviously, we're focused on the cut it, weed it, heat apply sort of workflow. If you don't have a vinyl cutter, get one. Or, no, actually, you can order these cuts pre-done from Stahls and basically just heat apply them. That's an option. You can order in quantities of 6 if you're interested in that. Or you can buy the pre-cut lettering, which is the lettering kits, in your standard fonts, and individually place the letters and press them across. And we have a video up on Stahls TV where Jenna actually does that with a product called SimStitch. It's a really great look.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you want to do viewer's choice?
I'm a little nervous, but yeah, I want to do viewer's choice.
So viewer's choice, we're running a little bit over, so you can stick with us if you want. We're going to do a little viewer's choice and launch a poll. But first, Courtney's going to try to sell you her concept that says you should want to see her decorate this oversized shirt. And then I'm going to try to sell you mine. And she's really nervous because
I don't know what you're going to pitch.
I haven't released my concept yet, so she doesn't even think I actually have one, which is kind of humorous. But go ahead and start with yours first.
All right, so mine is actually going to be on the short sleeve oversized shirt that we showed earlier. And the idea for this is to add a foil back print to it using the new CAD cut adhesive product and a heat transfer foil. So being able to create a soft, lightweight foil product that looks similar to screen printing foil directly on the back of an oversized shirt.
Okay, that's a nice concept. My concept so you didn't think I actually had something.
I didn't think you had anything.
I do. So she thought I was going to cheat and basically say I'll take her garment and I'll do a 2-color foil with the same concept, but I wouldn't do that to you. So my concept is I want to show you how to decorate a youth style, because youth is a tremendously popular market for these oversized shirts, and there's some adjustments you need to make on the heat press. So I'm going to take the same exact garment, just in a pretty pink colorway here for you, and I'm going to customize it not only with Premium Plus, which is a tremendously soft material that feels great on this, but with a new product called CAD Cut Glaze. So we're actually going to do a 3-color application onto a youth style of that same garment. So we're going to launch the poll right now. Do you want to see Courtney's foil adhesive look, or do you want to see the customization with CAD Cut Glaze and Premium Plus on this style? What do you think?
I'm hoping. I don't know. Yours sounds pretty cool. I'm a little jealous. CAD Cut Glaze did win last time we did a viewer's choice, so.
I know how to play the odds.
Yeah.
But people like you better than me. That's what I've been told.
That is
so.
true.
At least one person does.
I might get the pity vote from the Open this morning.
All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds to vote here. Joe, go ahead and close it off. And what do we have?
Overwhelmingly, Josh's look is what they want to see.
Overwhelmingly.
76% to 24%.
All right.
It was unfair. I stacked the deck
It
with
was.
the youth style.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's cool. Well,
she'll
good.
get me next time.
Good
All
luck.
right, tag you out.
Yep, see you later.
Okay. So the CAD Cut Glaze product, I cut this earlier with my last minute preparation here. This is actually the Glaze Red. And for those of you that haven't seen the Glaze before, we just came back from yet another trade show at DAX Chicago, and the response has been overwhelming. People love this product because it's a transparent material and it plays on the sort of tone-on-tone effect or the foil effect. It changes color based on what you apply it to. So we're going to, I cut this and then I'm weeding it. I just want to show you how easy it is to weed. It pulls away just very quickly. This is sort of 3 dancers jumping across that we're going to use for the decoration. And then I'm going to trim one of them out. And then let's switch to the overhead cam here, Joe. And so you can see this is sort of a transparent material. This is actually called our red shift color. But something we've been teaching people is if you put this on tone, it sort of picks up the tone of the actual garment. So we're going to use it on top of pink, and it's going to look like a pink color instead of a red color. And so we've also cut, I need to find my scissors here, excuse me. We've also cut Premium Plus in 2-color, and I had this extra dancer as if when I decorated these originally it was just a 2-color design, but I wanted to add the glaze in for this viewer choice, so we'll trim that dancer out, and then we're going to get ready to load this onto the heat press. So let's get rid of this one. And then I'm going to swap out this 16 by 20 attachment. Just pulls out with a pin registration. And I'm going to drop in the 11 by 15. Now the 11 by 15 is great if you want to do the oversized print on the back of youth styles, because as I mentioned earlier, if you need to get rid of that seam of the collar, the 11 by 15 is a great way to do that. You can just split and thread your shirt onto the heat press still, and this will allow you to sort of slide it across that smaller print surface, that smaller area, which is going to give you that great paneling and placement for doing the full oversized back print of this particular shirt. But we've chosen to do the front print on this style, so I'll load it the same way. I'm just going to thread it on. I'm going to pull it back so the collar's hanging off the edge, and with anything I'm going to start with the preheat, always adjusting my pressure based off of the platen change. The 11 by 15 platen seems to be a little bit thicker than a standard platen, so I'll adjust that. And then I'm going to line up my Premium Plus. So I'm not going to take the traditional front center look. I'm going to do this one sort of as a play on a left chest here. Notice how I've trimmed out the material in such a way that I can complete all the applications at one time, saving me a lot of time in the process if I'm doing a run of these. I've trimmed it out in such a way we can lay everything down instead of having to function in steps. I can position it all down, making sure the carrier's not sliding under the adhesive on any of these, so every sort of piece of the heat transfer film needs to come in contact with the garment And CAD cut glaze is cool in that it can press as low as 265, but Premium Plus needs to be up at 280. So I'd run these together at 280 degrees for the application time. I am running at 300 since we weren't sure which one you were going to pick. The foil adhesive needs 300 degrees. So I apply that. The Premium Plus is a warm peel. So basically, I want to give it just a few seconds or a pause and peel sort of application, and then peel the carrier off. And then the glaze is a cold peel. So I'm going to try to peel off the white Premium Plus from underneath the glaze here. And then I'm just going to remove the shirt, and I'll bring it back over here in a second to peel it. Just cool it down, just shaking the shirt to cool it down, bring it back over, and then remove the carrier. And so you can see, hopefully we're getting the right angle on that. It looks really cool in person. You can see how the dancer that was in the red shift took on the tone of the pink garment. And then, Courtney, do you want to come over here for a second? I do. Check this out. Now, close your eyes and feel this. You can't even feel that
It's
on there.
almost as good as the adhesive would have been.
Do you know how that feels?
It feels very soft.
It feels like victory to me.
I bet it does.
Yeah. But it's a really cool look. And you don't always have to decorate the full back panel. That's probably the most challenging place to decorate on this garment, and it takes the most time. So just the style of the shirt alone is often enough to sell it, and just being able to sort of customize the front with a unique placement is enough. Now, this seam is fairly flat, so I'm not that worried about applying close to the seam. But if you are worried about applying close to the seam, you can always have a heat printing pillow if you have a really thick seam that you can insert inside of the garment, and these come in adult and youth sizes, and basically that seam will sink down into the pillow, giving you that completely flat printing surface to customize this. We have a question, I believe.
Yes, how do you know when the design is straight when you're doing the back design, and what's the height of the letters that you're doing on the oversized?
So 9" is a typical dimension for the actual height of that panel that is available to print. Usually you don't exceed 9. Usually the size ends up being like 7.2 or 7.7, depending on the design layout. And what was the second part of that question?
How do you know that you've got it straight when you're putting it onto the oversized on the back?
The best thing I do is sort of after I load the garment, I just hold out both sleeves after I've lined my design. So you know you have it centered by folding it back to back. And that sort of seam, that center seam that's a trademark on these garments, acts as a great way to align your graphics. So when you hold this out when it's laying on your heat press, you'll be able to see the distance from the seam to the actual bottom of the print on both corners when you hold the sleeves out and take a look at that. Also, you know, there's always laser alignment tools that you can get to shoot a line laser across there to make sure it's straight, but I do it quick. I just hold it out, make sure it looks even on both sides.
And quick question on the glaze product, can that be layered?
Right now, the glaze product is not recommended for direct layering, either as a foreground or a background, and that's just because we haven't taken it through the wash tests. We wanted to get it to market, and so now we're running it in combination with all of our different heat transfer materials to come out with a comprehensive combination application recommendation. Joe gives up on that one. All right, so as always, the Stahls TV Morning Show, thanks for watching. I'm getting the wrap it up sign, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Do you know what we're talking about next week? Do you remember?
I don't, no. It's
still-
going to be exciting.
I'm sure it always will be exciting. As always, thanks for watching Stahls TV. We'll hope you join Courtney at the live event coming up this week. Register on stahlstv.com. Thanks for watching.